Hello everyone, and welcome to A Teacher Explains.
I'm a teacher, and in this video, I'm going to explain what academic writing is. Have you ever wondered what exactly makes it so different from, say, a text message or a novel? Well, it's a very specific style with its own set of rules. So let's break down what it is, what its key characteristics are, and why it's such a crucial skill to have. Okay, so first things first, what is academic writing? At its heart, it's the formal style you'll find in universities and research papers. But here's the thing people often get wrong. It's not about using a bunch of big, complicated words just to sound smart. Not at all. It's actually a method for communicating complex ideas as clearly and logically as possible so that everything is organized and credible. So what's the point of it all? Well, academic writing is meant to inform, to analyze, and to persuade. But maybe the most important purpose is to join a larger conversation. Think of every academic field, history, science, you name it, as a huge, ongoing discussion that's been happening for decades, even centuries. When you write a paper, you're not just completing an assignment, you're pulling up a chair and adding your own voice to that dialogue. But of course, to join that conversation effectively, your writing needs to follow certain rules. So let's dive into the 5 core characteristics. These are really the essential building blocks for any piece of strong, reliable, and professional academic work. Here they are, the 5 pillars: a formal tone, an objective stance, clarity and precision in your language, a really logical and structured organization, and a foundation that is 100% evidence-based. Let's take a closer look at each one of these. First up, formal tone. This means you're avoiding slang, contractions, and just overly casual language. I mean, just compare the 2 sentences here. Many researchers argue that this is problematic. Sounds way more authoritative, right? Now, this isn't about being stuffy or boring. It's about establishing credibility and showing you're taking the topic seriously. Next, objectivity. This is a big one. Academic writing is all about facts, evidence, and logical reasoning, not personal feelings or opinions. That subjective statement uses the word obviously, which is just an opinion. But the objective one, it points directly to evidence. And that allows your reader to evaluate your argument based on solid proof, not just on your personal beliefs. Clarity and precision are absolutely crucial. Using vague words like things or a lot really hides your meaning. It's weak. The precise sentence, on the other hand, tells us exactly what's affected: student motivation and performance. The goal is always to make sure your reader understands your ideas exactly as you intended them. This clarity is also helped by a logical structure. Most academic writing follows this classic pattern. You have an introduction that sets the stage, body paragraphs that build your argument with evidence, and a conclusion that wraps everything up. Think of this structure like a roadmap. It guides your reader through your thinking, step by step, from beginning to end. And finally, and this might be the most important part, academic writing is evidence-based. You can't just make a claim, you have to back it up with credible sources like books or journal articles. As a writer, it's your job to find those sources, weave their findings into your own argument, and, of course, cite them properly to give credit and avoid plagiarism. This is what grounds your work in real scholarship. Okay, so we've covered those core characteristics. Now let's zoom out a little and talk about context. Because understanding the environment you're writing in and who you're writing for is totally key to mastering this style. You know, one of the best ways to understand what academic writing is to look at what it's not. It's not personal writing, which is based on your own experiences, and it's not creative writing, which is all about imagination. Academic writing is defined by being formal, logical, and based on evidence. Knowing the difference helps you switch gears depending on what you're writing. So who exactly is your audience? Well, usually it's instructors, other scholars, or fellow students. The key thing to remember is that you should assume they're knowledgeable, but also critical. They're going to expect you to be clear, accurate, and logical. So your task is to provide solid evidence for every single claim you make. And this brings us to a really common myth, one that honestly scares a lot of new writers. People often ask, does my writing have to be filled with complicated sentences and super difficult words to be considered academic? The answer is a clear and simple: false. No. Strong academic writing is all about being clear, not confusing. It's an exercise in communicating complex ideas, building a solid structure, and making a persuasive argument. Using a bunch of unnecessarily complex language just gets in the way of that goal and makes your writing confusing, not impressive. Okay, so why should you put in all this effort to get good at this one particular skill? Because trust me, its value goes far beyond just passing a class. It's something you'll use in your professional life too. Let's talk about that broader impact. When you master academic writing, what you're really learning is how to think critically. It trains you to analyze complicated information, to figure out if a source is credible, and to build a strong, logical argument from the ground up. These are foundational skills you need for success, not just in university, but in pretty much any career that requires sharp thinking and clear communication. All right, let's do a quick recap of the main takeaways. We've learned that academic writing is a formal, structured, and evidence-based style. Its main goals are to inform, analyze, and persuade. And it does all this using 5 core features: a formal tone, objectivity, clarity, a logical organization, and the use of evidence. If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this: academic writing is not about hiding your ideas behind fancy language. At its very best, it is simply about clear thinking that is expressed clearly through writing. And as with all academic work, we've based this explainer on credible research, which you can see on your screen now.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.